Welcome, week 2. So, before I forget, because I forgot the previous time, if you do feel that you would like to make this a practice, the journaling, to make it a practice, and you're not sure on how to go about, or what prompts to, what questions, or how you should, where you should place your attention for the weeks, um, please reach out to me. I've got a online membership called Pilgrim of the Path Circle. So in there, I do weekly sound baths, or be it sound meditations or guided meditations. And then with that, I give journaling prompts. So you are able to, besides listening to the meditation, you can incorporate a set of prompts and go throughout your week carrying this with you and sitting with it and just see what comes up. It's an amazing way of walking through your week. I'm just trying to think. Yeah, so, uh, and if you are also interested in this series, please subscribe to my channel. It will help me immensely, and also spreading the word. If you feel like there might be someone that's needing this at this moment, please send it to them, please share it. So yeah, so we can all, learn and walk this path together. So with that, I hope you've enjoyed week 1's brain dumping exercises, and yeah, you started to feel the power of journaling. So for week 2, we are now um, diving into the gratitude journaling part of journaling. So, week 1 was about dumping the brain, clearing the space, just being with that practice of just writing anything that's in your brain. Remember what I told you about, everything is scattered and you've got so many thoughts, and then just dumping them on paper is a very powerful way of organizing your thoughts, right? So now week 2 is about, where am I placing my focus? What am I giving time to? Because as everybody says, or there's a saying that where you place your attention, or where you focus your energy, that's where your intention goes, and that's creating your reality. So that's basically what this is. Our mind is wired for survival, and it's not wrong, it's not failure, it's just simply, how can I put this? Yes, there's so many things out there, and we are so overstimulated. That's overstimulated, so our nervous system is very fight and flight mode all the time, because we focus on that which is not. We have to constantly think. If you think of salary and all of those things, and have I got enough money? Have I got enough of this? Is this enough and this enough? But now, so if your focus goes into that, then you start thinking about shortage, and you start thinking, you might start making decisions for survival and fear and all of that. But then when you start changing your focus, changing your intentions to, what do I already have? You start, not that I'm saying you're not thinking of survival and all of that, but it just comes, the decisions you are making and the choices you are making comes more from a place of, what's it, of easiness, of trust. And it's almost like you can just sigh, and like everything will be fine. So yeah, so that's the two different ways of where your intention or where your attention goes, and how you create your own reality. So the question that I wanted to ask you for this is, so what is steady in my life? What is supporting me in my life? And what is holding me? Am I trusting, or am I trying to hold on? Are the veins in my hands starting to swell because I'm holding on so tight? So what gratitude really is, it's not bypassing, it's not taking a shortcut, it's not trying to push things away, it's simply acknowledging what you do have. So, and it's not pretending things are fine. It's attention retraining. So it just takes your attention back to where you do realize, where you can realize, like, you know what, I do have everything I need at this moment. And when you step into that brain retraining mode, that's where you start to relax, where the nervous system starts to relax, and then you can actually make sane decisions, if I can say it like that. So you start, that's the other thing, you start to feel safe as well. So if we look at science, and we talked about the prefrontal cortex and the amygdala. So the ventral stratum is part of the prefrontal cortex, and this is where it's to do with emotional regulation, like the prefrontal cortex. But this is almost like, how can I say, it's like gatekeepers. It kind of like registers the sensations or the messages it receives, and it kind of like say, okay, is this now supporting me or not? Is it worth paying attention to or not really? Is this a reward, or is it for pleasure? So it's about supporting motivation, engagement, maybe judgment, you can say that. And it strongly links to emotional experiences, like we talked about with the prefrontal cortex. So it can be like, okay, this actually makes my nervous system feel good, so I'm going to remember this. And that's when the retraining starts. You can also look at it neuroplasticity, starting new pathways in the brain, retraining your attention, because it's interesting. So when that starts to be activated, that's when you start to really be in a place of discernment and judgment, and what is supporting me and what not. But when the amygdala is activated, it's survival, it's fight and flight mode. So where the prefrontal cortex, the ventral stratum is activated, it's more about starting to regulate the emotions and the nervous system and all of that. So it's about meaning, how you approach life, where your attention is. It can ask the question, is this meaningful, rewarding, and worth moving towards? Is it serving me, or is it not serving me? So, yeah, and that's the same with the medial prefrontal cortex, front of the brain. So that's the science of it. But now with gratitude journaling, this is where you need to find your way. Is, I would say, start with one thing a day that you are grateful for. So you don't have to write everything, but writing one thing at a time, you will see that it creates a consistency, constant practice. And when you do one thing a day, you start the practice, and the brain learns to support you. It starts to see meaning. It starts steadiness, and that helps creating that pathways in the brain. So start with one thing a day, because if you start writing too many things, which is actually possible, you can start writing a lot of things one day. But if you're starting out with gratitude, I would start one a day. It's more than enough. Yeah, I think that's, I'm going to say it here. On the 17th of February, I'm going to do a 21-day gratitude journaling journey. So, sorry, that just came up. So I'm just saying that. So if you want more guidance on gratitude journaling, I would suggest maybe reach out to me, send me email, so that you can be updated as we go throughout. But anyway, so I just had to mention that 21 days. I will start on the 17th of February, but like I say, I can give you updates as we go on. Yeah, so so about gratitude, and you know what also thing is very interesting, the more detail you go, the more emotional that specific item can be, and that anchors, it goes deeper into the brain's memories. So small things count. Make it personal, make it emotional. You know, even if it's a warm mug, um, if it's aircon, jacket for when it's cold, a swimming pool when it's hot, quiet moments, holidays, when you had a productive day. You know, it's also, so sometimes when you are in a conflictive situation, conflict, and you remain calm, and usually you're the one that explodes in conflict, and this time you're like, oh, I actually kept my cool. There's something for your gratitude journal. You know, write it down, because the more consistent you are, the more the intensity builds. And again, it's that creation of the pathways in the brain. So as I mentioned last week about the handwriting, very important, because it slows down the system, your nervous system, because it's one thing at a time, and the motor skills are involved. It's the embodiment of the thoughts, not just like typing it, but to actually physically write it. There's emotional encoding involved, where typing is very cognitive. Your writing can be somatic, you know, so there's differences there. And also with your nervous system, it starts to relax, it slows down, because everything slows down, so your nervous system has time to integrate, to ground itself, and to have emotional balance. So I think that's about it. But yeah, so I was actually supposed to tell you now about the 17th of February, where I started 21 days. But anyway, I've said it. So, and I've spoken about my membership, which I find is very helpful. So yeah, that's about it. That's week 2, gratitude journaling. Enjoy the practice, see how it feels, and it's always said that 21 days is it's a good time span to retrain a new practice. I don't know. So anyway, but yeah, see how it goes. Let me know. Please let me know. I would love to hear from you and see if this is supporting you in your journey. So be kind to yourself, everybody around you, and I will see you next week. Namaste.